Welcome back. This is the AM show. My name is Enimra Animado, and I'm doing this with AM
Why are you
Tarzan.
salivating?
Because I was eating chocolate.
Why?
Why what?
Why are you eating chocolate at this time of the morning?
I've been awake for a long time. I've been awake for a very long time.
You needed like a sugar
And
rush
I
or
needed
something.
some sugar, yes. So yeah. And because I'm about to do the daily graphic today, doing the daily graphic today, so I needed an extra boost of energy if I was gonna try and get, this 11 or 15 minutes in or whatever
Okay.
that Israel does. So
That's
anyway,
fine.
I'm doing this with AM Tarzan, aka Israelite. I just needed to
Where's this
repeat
one
that.
too coming from?
It comes from you lifting chairs and things in the studio this morning. Like Israel, you guys sometimes like we need like a behind the scenes of what goes on the show.
Okay.
Because Israel could like shift instead of like shifting the chair, like pushing it, he lifted it above his head, to show that yes, I am strong and I am mighty. Lifted it just to move it. So we're calling him AM
If
Tarzan.
you're dragging the seat, you can
It's about to give us a lecture.
mess up the carpet.
We don't want to mess up carpets, so we're AM Tarzan with the open shirts. It's not easy for me on this set too. Anyway, you let me go get into the daily graphic this morning. I can promise you it's not going to be 15 minutes. But the headline, are you timing?
Yes.
Okay. The headline is
But you have to
President.
be as comprehensive as possible. You don't just want to skip the stuff.
Would you just like to do it?
No. Bring us all the stories that matter.
I think Israel should just do the daily
No.
graphic.
Do it.
Okay. On the front page, government-private sector dialogue on Ghana beyond aid. So the first ever presidential business summit to create a platform for open and frank discussions between the government and the private sector on critical issues began in Accra yesterday. The summit, which ends today, is going to ensure constructive dialogue between the government and the private sector to realize the vision of Ghana beyond aid. So that's what's happening. There were some ambassadors present. On the front page, there's a picture of Stephanie Sullivan, the U.S. ambassador to Ghana, and she attended the summit as well. Narcotic drugs not legalized. I'm telling you more about that. And Owusu Bempa saga, the GJA condemns attack on journalists. Okay, so before we get into the stories, let's just do a quick, what's it called? A quick run through
yeah.
of all of the stories inside the paper. So Nigeria faces worst cholera in years. Nigeria has been hit with one of its worst cholera outbreaks in years, with more than 2,300 people dying from suspected cases as Africa's most populous country struggles to deal with multiple disease outbreaks. 2,300 people dying from cholera.
That's terrible. Especially when you have a COVID also on there.
Exactly. It's really terrible.
But, okay, so if you're looking at this, then you can say that, yeah, Ghana has done pretty well.
Are we going to do what we did yesterday, compare ourselves to those worse off?
No, not that. Because in our case, we have avoided a cholera outbreak.
This year.
And the COVID is also under control. But it's all because they say that we're doing a lot more hand washing.
Hand washing, yeah, definitely. And remember that the thing about cholera really is that it's eating poop. So it's really about sanitation and really about washing your hands and, eating hot food or making sure that your food is warm enough and stuff like that. It's unfortunate that we still have stories like this,
So yes, everybody who's watching us, washing of hands, apart from the fact that, yes, it can help the COVID situation, it also helps to avoid these cholera outbreaks. So I'm happy to let you know that, to encourage everybody else to keep washing hands.
I see what you're doing. You're talking a lot so that it will seem as if I did the daily graphic review for a very long time, right? Nah, it's not going to happen. Justice Ministry procures 89 vehicles to improve service. A call for the passage of an affirmative action law. And I cannot believe we're still talking about affirmative action and the fact that the law has not been passed. Because President Akufo-Addo promised in his manifesto that he was going to pass it first term. When the second term, this has been going on for what, almost 20 years or so, just trying to get this law. Okay, you can talk.
I'm not talking. I'm not saying anything. Yeah, so go on.
I thought you stand with women and our issues, or suddenly you're backing down from being an advocate.
Yeah, so that you accuse me of trying to drag your time.
Okay. Dr. Baumia's mother laid to rest in Wale, and GFA board must return to drawing board to fix stars.
You've done 5 minutes and you're just on the second page.
Okay. TB Joshua's widow has taken over church leadership. That's an interesting one. So the Synagogue Church of All Nations, founded by TB Joshua, has announced a new era in its leadership as the late prophet's widow takes over. Mrs. Evelyn Joshua said her late husband would remain as a general overseer and founder, and she asked for prayers as she begins a new role. She says that in-person worship would resume as God is. Remember that TB Joshua died in June, and he was buried in Lagos.
Though.
Yes.
Is it the way it works that, a founder dies and then the spouse takes over?
I don't think so. I mean, for example, when Joel Osteen, what's the name of his church even? I can't remember. But when Joel Osteen's father died, it was Joel who took over. So not even his first son or his second son. Joel was the quieter, behind-the-scenes son. But his wife was still alive. And they have one of the biggest churches in the U.S. now. So it's not really a wife.
A problem with that. With
what?
Because it shouldn't be inherited. It shouldn't be an inheritance.
It shouldn't be inherited if you're looking at it from the worldly point of view. But most fathers are praying for their children to take up the mantle and the call of God. And so what greater inheritance can you leave than the work of God that you've started and your children will continue? That's how a father would look at it. So most fathers, who have churches are grooming their children to take over the ministry.
The point I'm just making is it's not so much about who takes over. Mm-hmm. I think it's about the anointing.
Yeah, so they've been praying for the calling from the womb. What is your problem? Is your church?
No, it's not my church.
Thank you very much. Okay.
It's God's church.
It's God's church. And for all you know, he's called... I remember Benny Hinn as well, a few years ago, was praying for his son, also I think called Joel or Joey or something, little boy. And he prayed for him and he said that, I pray that when I am not there anymore, you will be there. The things that I have done, you will do more. I mean, I think the greatest heart of a father towards his children, fathers who are pastors and whatever, is that their children will take over.
But what does God want?
But were you there when they were making the covenant with God about their children?
Right.
Or this morning you are God. Okay, what does God want?
I don't know what God wants.
Oh, yeah.
Except I don't think that's what God wants.
Okay, well, we don't know. So anyway, she has taken over the church. You have problem, you have write letter to the church, okay? Yes, please. World leaders attend UN meeting in person. In praise of those who create, that's Elizabeth Ohine's opinion piece in the Daily Graphic. Study reveals new modules on gender financing. Okay, that's also on page 13 of the Daily Graphic. Okay, narcotic drugs not legalized. Let's spend some time there. The Narcotics Control Commission has warned the public not to see the new Narcotics Control Commission Act 2020 as a free pass for the use of narcotic drugs. Okay, so Mr. Addo, who is the Deputy Director General of NACOC, says that he was speaking at a 2-day seminar, and he is saying that there is an alternative to prison when you offend, which is good. And they're offering a system where you can go to court to defend buying narcotics if you bought it for the use of seeking treatment and rehabilitation, or something like that. It's a little bit confusing. But the most important thing, though, is that it's not legal. It has not become legal. He says, let me reiterate that this provision in no terms implies the legalization or the decriminalization of drug use in Ghana. The use of narcotics remains an offense under the Act. So, okay. So it's what it's seeking to do actually is to reduce the punishment of people who are caught with narcotics, so that you can go into rehabilitation as opposed to just being thrown into prison for many, many years. Owusu Bempah saga. GJA condemns attack on journalists. Would you like to say something?
No. Okay.
Review the 1992 Constitution, CPP, LPG. Do not delay MMDCE's confirmation. Okay, some more stories. Let's go to the middle page. Justice Ministry provides 89 vehicles to improve service. Oh, that's interesting. The Ministry of Justice has started the procurement of 89 vehicles for distribution to regional offices, agencies, and departments under the ministry. This forms part of efforts to equip the ministry to help them perform their mandate effectively. Okay, so these cars will be delivered within the next 12 weeks. That's interesting. Mr. Godfrey, your board is the one who said on Monday that the vehicles would be delivered within the next 12 weeks. I know what you're thinking. I'm thinking the same thing, but we will not say anything. Yes, 11-member committee appointed to reform GBC, help grow internal travel culture. Dr. Awal urges GTA board. I love, stories like this, help grow internal travel culture. How can we help grow internal travel culture when sometimes it's more expensive to stay at a hotel in Ghana than it is to stay at a hotel in Dubai?
Yeah.
How?
Or Las Vegas.
Or Las Vegas.
Yes.
So I was looking at hotel prices a couple of weeks ago. This really nice hotel that I really liked. It's in Akosombo. $280 a night. $280 a night.
And it's not 5-star.
It's not 5-star.
Yeah.
It's not 5-star. So what? 3 nights is almost $1,000. Now, I remember when I was transiting through Dubai, the hotel that I stayed at, which was very nice, very, very nice, was $100 a night.
Yeah.
And guess what? When I go downstairs, there's like a mall, a complete mall, which is where I did all my shopping. And when you go underground, there's the pool, the sauna, $100
All
a
that
night.
for $100 a night.
All that for $100 a night. So Dr. Awal, we absolutely love what
are you
you're
getting
saying.
in Akosombo?
You're getting, you're probably going to get a nice room, an air conditioning,
And
a few
that's it.
mosquitoes here and there, maybe a pool, not likely a sauna or a steam room, not likely a shopping mall. You're going to have to pay extra for everything, the
Yes.
boat rides, the
And sometimes terrible customer service.
and sometimes terrible customer service and all of that. So yes, let's grow internal travel culture, but let's make it realistic because it's actually cheaper right now to travel outside of Ghana on holiday sometimes than it is if you want a really, really nice place. But there are some really, really nice places that are also not expensive anyway. But
You're going to tell me about that?
just saying no.
Why
After
not?
you try to abandon me and go to Greece. On page 29 of the Daily Graphic, 6 million Ghana cedis expended on alternative livelihood support for
You won't
fishers.
let this Greece thing go?
No, never.
Because I didn't go.
Never, never. And I thank your ancestors for that, who stood in the way of your going. May they be ever alert. Okay, Societe Generale committed to MSME sector growth. That's according to the MD. Accra Brewery staff charged to be the ambassadors of... I love this. The people who make beer are being charged to be the ambassadors of smart drinking. Isn't that amazing? So we want all staff to lead by example, not just internally, but outside as well. We want all employees to create awareness of smart drinking in our social and family circles all around us.
I think they should partner the Drunkards Association because they also say they are promoting or encouraging responsible drinking.
That's interesting.
Yes.
So Accra Brewery, in partnership with the Drunkards Association of Ghana, encourage you not to drink too much.
Yes.
Fantastic. Oh, don't we love
Drink
Ghana?
responsibly.
Drink responsibly.
Yeah.
Children Believe refurbishes school. Children Believe, okay, it's like an NGO. Refurbishes school blocks in Saboba district. Railway board has been inaugurated. That's interesting. GFA must return to drawing board to fix stars. That's Yadum Boachiamponza. Of course, I mean, they must. There's so many issues with our football team and the whole process. But Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo has been speaking. He says 72 hours short to search for a good coach. Unless, of course, they had people in mind already. But even then, I mean, 72 hours. But we need, so like he's saying, we need like a stopgap trainer, somebody to come in and, kind of take up all of that and then give people time to find a good coach and stuff. I miss Autofista. I miss Autofista. Fire destroys Odar Market and swine fever outbreak in Bono region. 200 pigs in 7 farms killed. Gosh, we were dealing with bird flu, right? And then now we have swine fever outbreak in Bono region. 200. It's almost like God is just telling us to be vegetarian. I don't know about that. And that's the daily graphic. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. It's 6:45. I believe I used 10 minutes to do it, and I'm very proud of myself.
Use what, 10 minutes?
How many minutes did I use?
15 minutes.
Okay, well, Jesus said, greater works will you do. The Lord does not expect us to do less than those that went ahead of us. So I believe I'm well within, anyways. Over to you, Israel.
Okay, and I don't think you exhausted all the stories anyway, like I will do.
Oh, now he's criticizing me as well. Wow. Tomorrow I'll use 20 minutes then.
Okay, let's get on with the Ghanaian Times. Yeah, some interesting stories. President launches $6 billion aluminium projects to enable exploitation of the country's bauxite. And this issue of the aluminium sector, it's something we've been talking about for a long time. And I don't know why it's taking us so long to just let it happen. But the president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, yesterday launched the integrated aluminium industry projects in Accra for the development and utilization of the country's large bauxite deposit. Made up of 4 different phases, the projects form part of a strategic plan to develop the country's aluminium industry. The first phase of the project, also known as Project 1, involves the expansion of the existing mine at Awal in the Western North region and the establishment of a refinery, while Projects 2 and 3 sees to the establishment of a new mine and refinery at Yenehin, Impasaso, and Chebi, respectively. All right, so all of that. They say that the projects would have an impact on the economy and create jobs and wealth for stakeholders in the industry, no doubt about that. So we just hope that it happens as quickly as possible so that we can get those jobs. Position tourism to become lead contributor to economy. That's Dr. Awal. It's the issue we're talking about, very much related. Police apologized for assault on journalists at Accra court. And this is refreshing, actually, that the police... So here's the case. It's not that the police did anything to the journalists. Mm-hmm. There were some people who were followers or the congregants from... believed to be congregants from Reverend Owusu Bempe's church, and they manhandled or engaged in some squabbles with journalists who were there, harassed some of the journalists. And the police is apologizing for that.
Well, that's good then.
Yeah, that's really good. I mean, there have been days or times when the police would assault journalists and nothing becomes of it. This time, the police, even before anything happens, they haven't done anything, but they're saying, we are sorry that this happened to you. And they're investigating it, which is good. Okay, motorcycle rider fined 1,800 cedis for knocking down woman. The Denton Circuit Court has imposed a fine of 1,800 cedis on a 20-year-old motorcycle rider who knocked down a woman with his uninsured vehicle. Sedom Koto, in default, will serve 6 months imprisonment. I think we need to have more examples because these motorcycle riders, they cause too much trouble. And look, in recent times, I had to encounter the Mahama Kambu, those small ones. Yeah, they carry passengers.
It's called Mahama Kambu?
Yeah.
Are you making that up?
No, for real, yeah.
For real, where?
Okay, so no. They're for real.
Apparently, it's called Mahama Kandu.
Or Kambu, but it looks like a Kambu. Okay, so I encountered some of them around the Dom market. It was like, I mean, you feel it's total chaos. I wish you would just get rid of them.
Sorry.
In Y and the rest, you can tolerate them. But here in Accra,
the Mahama, what are they called again?
Kambu.
Yeah, okay. Mahama Kambu. Wow.
You want to call it Mahama Kandu?
That's okay. What it's called, apparently. Mahama Kandu.
And who says? You?
Well, because it makes more sense, because Mahama was the one who was saying that let's legalize them. Mahama can do, like he can do it. But Mahama Kambu...
I'm insisting that it looks like a Kambu. That's why they call it.
So what does the Kambu have to do with Mahama?
The vehicles are like Kambus, and it was introduced during Mahama's time.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Oh, I mean, we can research.
Okay, yeah, we will.
I can fact check.
Okay, fact check. You're great at it, obviously. So yeah,
All right. So the other stories we have, no, but I'm just saying that we should have more of such examples. Okay. Car dealer defrauds businessman of 480,000 cedis. So a 48-year-old car dealer who defrauded a businessman at Bontieso in the Amanse West District of the Ashanti region has been remanded into prison custody by the Nkawie Circuit Court. Essentially, this man was supposed to get someone an excavator. Yeah, so that's why it's that much. And driver jailed 12 months for fondling breast of a girl. 10.
Oh.
So a 41-year-old school bus driver who fondled the breast of a 10-year-old girl on board a bus at Adentang has been sentenced to 12 months imprisonment in hard labor by Adentang Circuit Court.
Yeah, I know, right?
Okay, so take public procurement law seriously. PAC chairman. Rwandan businessman gunned down in Mozambique. Nigerian prisoners flee after raid by gunmen. WHO-backed vaccine hub for Africa to copy Moderna. Taliban kills civilians in resistance stronghold. And tropical storm Nicholas hits Texas, Louisiana. And tackle gold smuggling. That's the minister to the PMMC board. Illegal miners pollute Odan River. So we still have illegal miners polluting rivers, even though we had a clampdown on Galamsey. And then there's also Galamsey on high seas, apparently. So this story is a feature on page 8 of the Ghanaian Times. It says, fight Galamsey on high seas. Well, Galamsey in quotes, so not the gold mining Galamsey. Resolving the medical negligence quagmire in Ghana, some suggested solutions, final.
It's a three-part opinion
So
piece here, so that's the final part, yeah.
And on page 10, world leaders urge to tackle security issues diplomatically. Allow Mahama to go unopposed as flag bearer. Okay, that's in politics. And on page 13, President others pay tribute to Veep's mother. And then on page 15, Veep's mother laid to rest at Wale Wale. Okay, well, apparently, there's some beans that comes from Wale Wale. When I went to the market the other day. Oh, yeah. That's what I got to know.
Okay.
Thought I was making that up.
No, I haven't said anything.
Okay. And on the center spread, Akufo-Addo opens 2-day presidential summit in Accra, and government is holding a 2-day dialogue with the private sector to discuss, among other issues, the fiscal and non-fiscal incentives to support private sector development in the country. All right. And Micheletti honored at Ghana Construction Awards. Patronage of COVID-19 vaccination in Volta region and Kar region.
Oh, that's a rather handsome young man.
It's called Dr. Jokoto. He's Dr. Senanu Kwesi Jokoto, Deputy Director of Health in charge of public health in the region.
Nice.
Okay.
Well, hello, Dr. Jokoto.
We don't have...
Do you need... Do we need confirmation that he's quite a rather dashing young man?
Because we're leaving the viewers out, so I just thought we should, It only helps for them to see what you're...
Right, what I'm seeing.
Yeah, what you're seeing. ECG launches task force to curb illegal electricity connection. And on page 23, film aimed at fighting malaria launch. NCC urges you to be vigilant about terrorism. Then the other stories we have, Ghana Health Service Lord's World Vision for support India to provide scholarship for Ghanaian medical students, doctors. Moody's S&P affirmed Ghana's credit rating at B3, B-. And internal or indirect tax reform measures needed. Closed down undocumented foreign retail shops. That's Guta saying that. Commodity prices surging again. And South Korea fines Google $177 million for blocking Android customization. Cash-strapped Gambians fly on Algerian club's generosity after beating them 3-0 in CAF Champions League first leg. Okay, that's interesting. Pele ready to leave ICU after tumor removal. And Liverpool, Milan in KG clash. Algerians get 10-year ban each for withdrawing from Olympic Games. And whole youth sports center project abandoned. Akono grateful to all. And so CK Akono is saying thank you for after he was fired. He put up a tweet where he says thank you. And I was saying that look, CK Akono, all he should have done was blame his inability to deliver, to meet expectations on COVID-19.
Which is what a lot of people have done. That's a fantastic, yes.
And they've gotten away with it.
And they've gotten away with it.
Yeah. Only CK Akono. All he had to do.
That's all he had to do.
Just say that. Because indeed, he couldn't call up some players because of COVID restrictions.
And people have won presidential elections by blaming their performance on COVID-19. So, I mean, a coach could have, survived that. Well done, Israel. 10 minutes on the Ghanaian Times.
Back page.
10 minutes.
Back page.
10 minutes. So it's not the paper, it's you.
No, I'm not done.
Okay, go on.
Combating modern slavery project launched to be implemented in 100 communities and measures to check corruption in extractive industry takeoff. Now I'm done.
Regardless of which paper we give you, 11 minutes, Israel. Anyway, I'm going to do the daily guide in 2 minutes. On the front page, Owusu Bempah rushed to hospital, back in cells. Attorney General wants GRA to sit up. Baumia's mom buried in Wale Wale, and Nana launches Presidential Business Summit. Okay, so that's the daily guide. Let's do some international stories. World now sees twice as many days over 50 degrees Celsius. The number of extremely hot days every year when the temperature reaches 50 degrees Celsius has doubled since the 1980s. A global BBC analysis has found, which means that the world is getting hotter, isn't it? Rwandan ex-army officer gunned down in Mozambique. Tropical storm Nicholas hits Texas and Louisiana. Guinea's coup leaders start cross-party talks. That's it for international stories. Let's do some entertainment. Okay, well, I really thank you, Sam Ajetifio to Baumia, after that 50,000 Ghana CD donation. Sarkodie is going to be featured on the Grammys show. He'll make a debut appearance on Grammys' new show, Herbal Tea and White Surface. It's a lovely name for a show, Herbal Tea and White Surface. Okay, congratulations to Cynthia Lumo. She is Talo, Ghana's new deputy MD. Well done for making women proud everywhere. And that's about it for the daily guide. GTA to train taxi Uber drivers as tourism brand ambassadors. Celestine Donko drops new single Only You, and Stone G set to release Bad Friends music video. On the back page of the daily guide, more coaches chase stars vacant job, and Jesse shines in Beitar Jerusalem win. But it's 6:58, so how about we go to myjoyonline.com.
Right, whilst we get the MyJoy Online coming up, let me just go through the front pages of the Business and Financial Times. Work diligently to deepen tourism gains. Dr. Awal task new GTA board. Economy shows strong growth prospects. Moody's and S&P affirm credit rating. Tax evasion by professionals, cause of poor domestic revenue, as personal income tax sees 5-year consecutive decline. And government to also treat exceptional IMF SGR flows as appendix footnotes. That's an opinion piece. And the Finder says Ghana's economic fortunes enhanced as GIADEX signs first project to kickstart integrated aluminium industry. Economy rebounding faster from COVID-19 impact than envisioned. That's President Akufo-Addo saying that. And family accuses Julo Krobo MC of unlawfully seizing their land. Disbursement of 55 million seed tourism industry fund starts this month. That's Dr. Awal. That'll be it.
Okay, so myjoyonline.com. Great. Banner headline, Immigration Service prevents 9 Ghanaians from entering Burkina Faso through unapproved routes. That's it. Other stories?
So Reverend Owusu Bempah discharged from hospital, back in police custody. Government lacks commitment in prosecuting NAM1, aggrieved men's gold customers. Don't attack judges on social media if ruling does not go in your favor. That's Godfrey Dami, the Attorney General. Ijra murder, family of Kaka petition chief imam to support calls for justice. Provisional results of 2021 population and housing census to be released on September 22. Okay. And Ghana Bar Association urged to redeem sinking image. And economy rebounding faster from COVID-19 impact than envisioned. That's Akufo-Addo. And The UK doesn't want to be a destination for corrupt money. High Commissioner to Ghana. All right.
That's about it. Okay, it's 7 o'clock. We're going to go for a quick break. And when we come back, Oreku is here with the sports. Of course, we have a very exciting show. It's all about you today, like
it's all about you. But there's something else we're bringing into the conversation, which has to do with food security. So there's been talk of the fact that we're having food shortages. Food prices are going to go up. So we should be looking at a food crisis. And government has stepped in. So they're saying, there was one conversation about the former president saying we're having a food crisis. Planting for Food and Jobs has failed. Now, the Agric Minister says, no, it's not true. You can't say Planting for Food and Jobs has failed. Now, the Deputy Agric Minister says, we envisage a crisis, a food crisis. So to avoid that or to avert it, we're deciding that we're banning the exports of our staples. Even though I think that is too late now because the exports have already gone. But yes, they said we're banning so that the buffer stock company can buy as much staple as possible so that we can avert a food crisis. So I want us to have a conversation with the farmers.
Okay.
Get to actually understand what they see. If really we're looking at a crisis or there's somewhere around this situation.
They did say it. I mean, the CEO of the agricultural chamber, I spoke to them the day that you went to the market, and he said that definitely there will be some food shortage issues, definitely, because according to the Peasant Farmers Association, the yield was low this year because of a lot of different factors. They're expecting a low yield next year as well. Burkina Faso is not sending us sorghum and tomatoes. They're not allowing us to buy all those things. So we're going to have to heavily rely on what we're producing. And with a low yield, there's definitely going to be issues. So all of them actually said that Christmas may not be Christmas like we know it because the stuff will get expensive because obviously demand is much higher than supply. So we're definitely on track
so
to having
So there's some that are looking at the gloomy side. There are others too who
looking on the bright, as in like we'll all have to go on a diet. And
no. So speaking to so one farmer says, yes, we see it looking this bad. Another farmer also says, well, I'm looking forward to harvesting 600 acres of maize, which is something he had not done previously. So, yeah, let's have that conversation and see. But let's also hope that things don't get as bad as we fear it could get. All right. So we'll be having that conversation later, and then we'll have conversations about Habitat Fair.
Oh, God, he's singing as well. Could this morning get any worse? Anyway, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, like I said, before, we'll be bringing